Okay, there we go. I think I pulled a bird and didn't have my microphone enabled. And I keep seeing it freezing. Are y'all guys seeing it freezing a lot, or is it just my YouTube studio kind of not keeping up with what the actual live stream is? So I'm going to ask y'all to bear with me for just a minute here, as it seems like, oh wow, that is a crazy long. I just started to pick up my own sound coming in over YouTube, and that is a crazy long delay right now. It is freezing occasionally. Okay, that's what it's looking like on my end too. And I'm giving it plenty of bandwidth, so I'm not sure why it would be dropping so badly here. Let me try this. I've lowered the video bit rate on my streaming settings. Hopefully this will give us a little bit more of a smooth. Sorry, I didn't stop in the middle of the sentence. Or I didn't freeze there. I stopped in the middle of the sentence. All right, well, you know what? I'm gonna try this anyway. We'll see if we can't keep things going. I'm gonna turn down the volume of this game because it is just blaring in my headphones right now. There we go, that's better. All right, is it still freezing on you, John? Because I have closed down anything that could be taking bandwidth, but I mean, I did some speed tests earlier today, and it had just crazy room to spare in terms of actually working. I think I might be having some video driver problems here. It updated today, and now I can see right now in my studio that everything is just completely frozen up. So hold on just a second here. I'm gonna try and fix this real quick. Okay, I should be back now. Hopefully this picks up again real quick. Okay, I am back, and hopefully we have everything working well. I'm gonna give this just a minute to kind of buffer back up onto YouTube's side, and hopefully we'll stop having that annoying problem where that's better. Okay, so I'm listening to the echo of my own voice, and it's coming in nice. It looks like I'm not having any more stuttering going on. Okay, that's good. Okay, so everyone else, y'all can kind of catch back in the middle. Sorry about that. I had a video update today. Let me turn off the sound here. There we go. No more echo. So I had a video card update happen today, and it sounded or it acted like it didn't need any server rebooting. I didn't think anything about it because it was the middle of the workday, and then all of a sudden it was doing this weird stuttering thing, and YouTube was complaining that it wasn't getting enough videos. So just everything was going wrong with it. So a reboot seems like it's fixed everything. Let's get into our game. So this is the Talos Principal, and we're going to continue from where we left off. And I am actually, whoa, crap. I want to be grabbing, there we go, get me up to the top. This way, now you'll be able to read anything that comes up on the computer, having me down low. So what we've learned so far is it appears that I was on the way to the first day of my job. It seems like I might be some person named Alexandra, based on some emails we've read so far. And we're trying to get an admin account set up so that we can restore network activity. Because right now we're inside what they say is the archives. And, I forgot to look this up yesterday, but it was something Bird of Prey and I were talking about is it talks about the fact that it has, some obscene amount of information in these archives, and only 10 gigabytes of it is not corrupted. And I forgot to look up and see how much that actually comes out to. But apparently the part 2 of the certification program has now been granted. And we answered honestly for most of the questions for part 1. It asked, what's 2 plus 2? It asked some, I forget what the other questions were, but then it ended with, you find a man in the desert and he's dying of water. You don't know how far it is to the next oasis. What do you do? And we answered that we would kill him and put his blood in a flask for later. So I'm curious to see if the game actually cares about our responses or if it's just going to, plow ahead and it doesn't care what we say. So part 2 has been designed to test the consistency of some of your outlier responses in the previous round. You'll be presented with a series of statements. Please indicate your agreement where appropriate. Should we begin? Yes, we should. 3, 2, 1. Question 1 of 7. And the way we're going to do this is whoever is on the stream at the time, I'm going to read out the statements and I'll give y'all just an answer to respond. And whatever answer gets the most, that's what we're going to go with. So we can either do this as a serious philosophical response, because I think that's where this game is going, or we can just mess it up as much as we can, which is always fun. So question 1 of 7. Since all human beings are persons and some human beings have psychological capacities similar to animals, some animals are therefore persons. And the questions or the options it gives us is we broadly agree or we broadly disagree. And if no one's around to answer, then I'll just answer. And so it's trying to argue that since some people have psychological capacity similar to animals, that means animals are people, which that's obviously, I personally would broadly disagree with it, but again, I'll give just a second here to see if there's any responses. And I think John is the only one on right now since I was having problems earlier and he had to pop off. So I am just going to say that I broadly disagree with this statement. No, not animals are... Some animals are not people. Question 2 of 7. A person is under no authority other than that to which they consent. Do we agree or disagree? Okay, so from a strictly philosophical standpoint, I would disagree with this statement. I would say that, especially when we're a kid, we are certainly under authority that we do not consent to. I would say that there are certainly those in the current political environment who would say that they exist under authority that they do not consent to. I think that's one of those things that sounds nice. Wouldn't we all wish that we were only under the authority of people we consented to? But no, we're often under authority we don't consent to. So I haven't seen any other responses, so I'm going to broadly disagree to this. Let's see. Question 3 of 7. The quality of life of persons ought to be maximized. So this is, I believe this is actually kind of a Marxist mindset. And I'm not being like, oh, this is communism. But I mean, like, literally, this was part of Marxism, if I'm remembering correctly. That all people should have the exact same everything because when everyone has the same everything, then we are maximizing that person's quality of life. And I honestly, I do not agree with that statement. I don't think the quality of life should be maximized. I think that it'd be more important that people's individual freedoms are maximized, because once we allow more freedoms, it will allow people to pursue that which gives them the highest quality of life. They're not necessarily going to get it, but at least allows them to pursue it. And what I mean by that is, imagine if the best quality of life, the thing that makes you the most enjoyment, is playing a video game. Kind of on topic there, but under a purely socialistic system where, and their mindset is to maximize the quality of everyone's life, there's no room for this one person to get the most quality is going to want this. It just can't happen from a social standpoint to make everyone's life as maximum quality as possible. So as a result, they're going to go for the maximum quality for the majority of the people, let's say, in which case they might say, well, in order for more people to have like a maximum enjoyment, then video games are outlawed because they're a waste of time. And so that's an absurd example, but that is a useful example for saying, well, in the attempt to maximize everyone's quality, we are inherently going to be limiting people's freedom. And I think as a result, more people would have a less fulfilled life. Like, even if on the whole, all of us are at a good level, I think it's going to hold people back from attaining the level of quality that they could have achieved otherwise. So yeah, I broadly disagree with that sentiment. Value is discovered. Is value discovered? So let's say there's a diamond in the ground. Does that diamond have value until I pull it out of the ground? I could argue that both ways, because on the one hand, until that diamond is out of the ground and a part of the market, then it doesn't affect the market. And so if you get an overabundance of diamonds, you actually lower their overall value by having them in the market. Whereas on the other side of arguing, and that would be saying that value is discovered, that if it's in the ground, then it can't be part of society, can't be part of the marketplace, therefore it has no value. On the flip side, I would say it's equally true that an object has value regardless of if it's found or not. I mean, just because the diamond is in the ground doesn't make it any less of a perfect diamond. Like, let's say there is a diamond the size of an elephant head somewhere buried underground. The fact that people haven't found it doesn't change the reality that it exists and that it has value in and of itself. So I could go with both ways. I'm going to say that I disagree in general with this, that I think that value is something that exists apart from observation, apart from being discovered. Persons deserve the talents they were born into. I disagree with this. Like, just off the cuff, I'd say I would absolutely disagree with this. That not everyone, let's say there's just a mass murderer out there, and it turns out that he has the most amazing singing voice. He doesn't deserve that talent in and of itself, just by existing. And you don't even have to go to the absurd lengths of saying a mass killer. Now I said that out loud. Just anyone who's born into something, you don't deserve the talent that you were given. And I would definitely say that all of us are given talents by God. And it's not something that I'd say we deserve. And I'd like to think that regardless of your religious thoughts, that I'd still hold this position. Like, even if I was an atheist, I think I would hold this position that it's just something you're born with. The fact that you have that talent is irregardless of whether or not you deserve it. So yeah, I'm going to say that I broadly disagree with this statement. The liberty of persons ought to be maximized. Okay, well, this is exactly what I was saying back to question 7. Not the quality of life, but the liberty of a person ought to be maximized. And yeah, I do think it should. And I certainly recognize that there are times where saying, let's say, freedom of speech, for example, I very much am the belief that there shouldn't be any limitations on that, except where no limitations except. But I do. I believe that as long as you are not creating a situation that is immediately a danger to someone else's life, then you should be allowed to say whatever you want to say. And by that, I mean, like, you can't shout fire in a crowded movie theater when there is no fire. Because that is threatening the lives of others. It's also why things like, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, well, you are. And the only time we limit that is you're not allowed to use that right to end the life of another for no reason. Like, just because they're making you mad or something, that's not a justification. Okay, what's YouTube complaining about now? It's complaining that it's lower than recommended bitrate. Oh, you know what? We're going to live with it, YouTube, because I'm dealing with interesting environments right now. So again, yeah, I do believe that the liberty of a person ought to be maximized. So what I was saying is that with freedom of speech, I can set up liberty saying that you can say whatever you want, and I recognize that that might actually hurt the liberties of someone else. Like, for example, I would say that a shop owner should be able to deny someone's service for any reason they want to. And I get that sounds offensive to our ears, because when we say something like that, we immediately think of like the Jim Crow laws, which were horrible laws and needed to end. But I also conversely think of, let's say there is an Islamic shop owner and you want him a restaurant, and you want to demand that he start serving bacon because every other restaurant in the area serves bacon. I don't believe that that you should limit his liberty in order to give you liberty instead, liberty to eat bacon. So yeah, liberty, it's going to be sometimes maximizing one person's liberty is going to be minimizing someone else's, or not minimizing, but decreasing. And that's just life. So yeah, I do agree that liberty ought to be maximized. So hey, John, welcome back. Value is created. Let's see. So when I said that value is discovered up for question 4, I said I wasn't so sure. And now it's saying value is created. Those are kind of mutually exclusive on the one hand, because when I'm saying that value exists in and of itself, it would seem like it's saying, well, then how can value be created since it already exists in and of itself? But this is one of my problems with philosophy. I think that people take themselves too seriously with it, and that they think that just because you say one thing, it means the other thing has to be false. And I disagree, because I think that value does exist in and of itself. And I also believe that value can be created. If I make an amazing work of art, that's creating value. That's creating something memorable. So I do think that value can both be created, and at the same time, it doesn't have to be discovered. So that would be how I answer. I would broadly agree that value can be created. Well, that's the response they give me. I'm not sure if I broadly agree with it, but I do agree with that. So I'm going to select that in just a second here if I don't see any other opinions on the statement. Yeah, I wasn't very good at, John DeMarco is saying I was never very good at philosophy. And John, I'm not either. I certainly would like to hope that I am good at religion, and that I claim that I'm a Christian. So I hope that I at least know the things that I claim I believe in. But when it came to philosophy, I always thought it sounded too much like the sound of one hand clapping, as it was. That people would make the most stupid statement possible, and other people would go, well, he's really smart, so even though he said something stupid, it must be really deep. And so there you have philosophy, the art of saying something so stupid that people think you're really intelligent. But I'm going to go with that I broadly agree that value is created. Thank you. The certification process is now complete. You will receive a notification when your user profile has been generated. Okay, well, that's kind of disappointing. It doesn't seem like they responded to our blood in a flask response. Well, that's interesting. We'll see what else we got going on here. We've already read these emails, which, again, it seems as if they're really going to philosophy, and it looks like they're specifically going to some Greek philosophy here, talking about Athena and Hephaestus. I think I'm saying that right. So let's give this puzzle a try. It is for a... Okay, so yeah, what we discovered so far also is that we are collecting these sigils, and there seem to be some green-colored ones and some yellow-colored ones so far. And then there's also stars. And I'm not sure what the stars seem to be for special areas. We found that. And I need 10 of them to open up this special gate area. And then I'm not sure what exactly the yellow ones are going to unlock. So far, it looks like we got a tripod and then the companion cube, perhaps. So let's see what we can get here. Okay, this is called well, you can read it on the screen. I'm not going to say that out loud because I'm sure that'll just make YouTube mad. So is this off? Okay, this is off, and I could turn it on, but all that's going to do is shoot me. Okay. And then what do we got here? We got one of the little, I'm going to call them Pokeballs. We got a little Pokeball on the other side because the real word for what they are, again, it's not YouTube friendly. This game, it doesn't have any violence in it, but when you talk about the different puzzles, it's not friendly to the YouTube algorithm, I don't feel like. So what are we going to do here? Okay, if I open this up, can I sneak past him? I don't have the game audio on. I'm sorry, I had that muted. Okay, so his little red laser lines, they are covering everything, so I don't think I can sneak past them. What else can I do here? Oop, did that too soon. Okay, so we'll let the Pokeball go back. Let's try turning the gun on. Maybe the gun will shoot the Pokeball. I gotta find a better word than gun. Maybe the... what can I use other than the G word to describe... Okay. Okay, so the Pokeball will turn the... Let's see, John Tomago is sad that we have to come up with all these euphemisms so we don't offend YouTube. It really is. You know, YouTube is just the most amazing and wonderful thing on earth, and I would never say a bad word against them. But seriously, like, they really don't seem to like their clientele. And I made a video about this a while back, and I had some follow-up things to say about it, but I might as well just say it in a live stream. I can make a video about it later if I ever wanted to. The projectile launcher, I like that. So we had the Pikachu turn the projectile launcher off. There we go. But so YouTube, they really don't like their user base, and I think, you know, way back in the day, when it was first made and they had the catchphrase of broadcast yourself. When they switched to, they became the official, or not the official, but they became a one of the approved streaming sources for the Olympics, and I think this was back in 2008. It may have been 2012. Don't hold me to that. But they got rid of the broadcast yourself. That was the date when they started to do those Olympics. I think it was the Beijing Olympics. But when they started to stream those, and this is called "The Guards Must Be Crazy." But when they started to stream the Olympics, they got rid of the slogan "Broadcast Yourself." And I think ever since then, we are not going to be able to get past them. Ever since then, they've taken up a stance of kind of, they don't want people broadcasting themselves anymore. They want the big companies, and they're really trying to court the ABCs and the NBCs, and it seems like all the algorithms are really designed toward giving preferential treatment to the big channels. And I think YouTube is making a huge mistake by doing this, because the big channels, they don't like YouTube. The big channel thinks that all the people on YouTube and YouTube itself is are kind of the pedestrians, the plebes, the peasants, if you will. They never like the fact that, you know, more people are tuning into the Cinnamon Sins guy to get their news on how good a movie was than they're paying attention to all the approved check marks of people. Like no one really cares about what the latest, you know, professional YouTube or professional movie reviewer has to say anymore, because we've all recognized that they're all kind of shills nowadays. And I don't necessarily blame them for that, you know. If my livelihood was dependent on making sure that I never offended a movie house, I'd have a different tune. Let's just be honest. Oop, didn't make that. I'd be singing a different song, because, you know, it really is a pay-to-play sort of atmosphere. If I talk bad about a certain movie, I might not get invited to the next early release, and that's going to really hurt my job. Like, it's going to hurt my livelihood. And so I probably would be a lot more hesitant to speak out against so much of what's going on in the movie industry nowadays than I would otherwise normally be. Okay, somehow we got to get past both of these guys. So let's... Wait, not yet. So I need both jammers over here. If I open up him, how can I do this? Because I think what I'm gonna want to do is, well, you know what? Maybe I don't need another. There we go. Okay, so I thought I was gonna have to freeze that Pikachu or that Pokeball, and then somehow get everything through and open up both gates. Kind of do a leapfrogging, but nope, didn't have to do that. Was worried about nothing. Okay, I'm not sure what A does yet, but apparently I have enough to unlock A. I hope the quality is coming in well for y'all on not just like, is the video choppy or anything, but like just the actual... Well, what was that? Did y'all see that? That wall just disappeared for a second. I can't tell if the documents on the terminal are all that's left from a larger archive or carefully designed to communicate some hidden truth. And that's done by Sheep v69.1.0162. But I was saying that the aesthetics of this game, the graphics are just really well done. What on earth? Is that what we look like? Recording number 23.v0186. Okay. Okay, so maybe we are not a robot or artificial anything, or anything like that. Maybe between the wall that just disappeared there for a second and the recording that just disappeared into a bunch of zeros and ones, maybe we're inside. Maybe this is a virtual environment we're inside. Huh. And this looks like... Okay, so if this is a virtual environment, what on earth is going on? Because this is clearly one of the other puzzle areas we were just in, except it looks like it's broken down from old age. Like there's the sign right there that would have given us what sigil it was. And then it looked like that recording was some other program, some robot, something working its way through the level. That was interesting. I wonder if we can get to that island over there. No. No, we cannot. It resets us back in time. Right? John DeMarco saying, computer, arch. Yeah. Okay, so somewhere we gotta find a key. I wonder if we can... I wonder if it's like in a level somewhere that there's a key. Let's take a quick look around here. Pretty sure I went all the way through that level. Oh, okay, so here's another star hidden behind a force field. So we gotta find a projector that's not in a level somewhere. Did I look back here? Let's make sure I didn't miss any. Like, this? I got a ladder right here. Maybe I can carry the projector out on a ladder. Or maybe I can use some keys. Okay, but let's see if I can't carry one of these projectors out on the ladder. Can't climb while carrying an item. Okay. But I can go use my key I just got. So let's go unlock that door. Ah, and there's my projector. And there's that... Okay, are we in a holodeck? Did you see the wall again? The tools to overcome this place have been provided to us. We only need to learn how to use them. Signed, Life with Matthew. Okay, so this was version 99.102.0012. We saw me make another one of these comments at the very beginning of the game, except it wasn't me. It's just a different Life with Matthew. So between the disappearing zeros and ones and these version numbers, it makes me think that I must be some sort of hologram or some sort of program, and we're going through different iterations of that program. These are timestamps. So not sure how that fits in with it being the first day of my job. Let's see, where's that star? It was over here somewhere. Here we go. 2 down, 8 to go. Let's see, do I have anything left in this level? Nope, I've gotten all 3 plus the star. Okay, so I also just got the green A, and I think this was green when we came over here yesterday. Yes, so let's see if I can't solve this Tetris puzzle. Okay. Let's see. And there we go.
You have proven yourself worthy, child, and this gate shall be forever open to you. Seek now the other worlds I have given you, that you may attain even greater mastery and bring glory to your kind. But remember, you must not ascend the great tower, for it shall bring death and the end of your generations.
Oh, okay. So there's the great tower. I'm gonna go climb it. So I don't trust a video game big voice from the sky. So I'm afraid of that tower. There's something terrible inside it. Never think about it. Don't even look at it. Just focus on doing the work. Signed, Seer V13.1.244. This must be the tower we were warned about. Seems the upper levels are locked tight. Elohim is taking no chances that we stray from his path. Signed, Sheep version 69.1.576. So are there any other... Let's see if we can't walk around this thing. Oh, okay, so there's another boarded up wall. I want to say this was built on the Half-Life engine. I honestly don't know, but it was off Steam, so surely I'm going to find a crowbar at some point. John DeMarco says, that was dramatic. Yeah, very portentous, right? Or I think that's how you say the word. Oh, that's interesting. So, it looks like I got a blue keyhole here, maybe? I need to find a jammer or a blue keyhole, it looks like, to open up and get my, my Mario star back there. Which, gosh, that'll be interesting to find. And then the Endless Wasteland. I wonder if this will be like the water where it just resets me at some point. And now we hear Elohim talking. So in the beginning, the words, I am the words are everything, where the words in the world ends. You cannot go forward in the absence of space. Repeat. Huh. Okay. So I was talking about good game design yesterday, and I like the way, well, for one thing, they have done a great job with the graphics of this game. I think this came out in 2014, and this is just, I mean, that scenery and the sun over there, I think it holds up so far with modern games. But one of the things I like is creating boundaries without necessarily making a wall you can't get past. And I like the way that they've come up with whenever you get too far, you hear this recording and then it resets you. On returning from the tower, I feel a great tiredness and an enormous energy. What I now know disturbs me, but I hope that by living with this knowledge, I might provide a shoulder for you, the giants of tomorrow. Signed, the Shepherd. The view from the top must be incredible, with no signature there. So what I like about the way that they've done this limitation, we all know that there's no such thing as a truly infinite game. There's always going to be some sort of ultimate limitation. And I like the way that what they've done with this game is, instead of just throwing up a wall that I can't get past, which, you know, that's fair enough for how most games create their boundaries. I like the fact that they seem to have incorporated in a method that really adds to the mystery of what's going on in this game. Aha! Okay, there is my blue key. So apparently I need to bust down this door, get that key, and then I'll take it over to the shop over there. So they've done a good job of taking this boundary concept and making it a part of the game. So it's not just a wall. There's something mysterious going on that is resetting me back whenever I get too far.
Cannot detect location of primary subject. Query. Query. Query.
Okay, so I am a subject, maybe a test subject of some sort. I wonder if my job, where I thought I was going my first day, if maybe I misunderstood. They said I was, so important for a project, but maybe the reason I'm important is because I was a test subject shoved into this world.
Is there anything that we associate more closely with intelligence than curiosity? Every intelligent species on Earth is attracted by the unknown. Our mythologies are full of riddles and mysteries and divine knowledge. Even the word apocalypse means revelation. It seems like our ancestors always imagined that even at the very end, we would solve one last mystery.
Okay, I didn't want to talk over her or trigger some event that might cause anyone else to start talking. So first of all, apparently we're gonna have green sigils, yellow, and then the red ones also. And I need to find these red ones. I haven't found any of those yet. And then I noticed when that message started recording, it said Alexandra. So that was a message left by me in the game, it seems like. And I think she's wrong. I don't think that apocalypse means revelation. I'm going to have to Google that one for later. And John DeMarco says, a sphinx, time for a riddle? That would have been really fun if it had been a riddle there. I do enjoy a good riddle. In fact, a while back ago I played on the DS.
Where have you been, child? Remember, the great tower is not for you. Do not give up the hope of eternal life for the hollow promises of curiosity.
I was playing a game called Professor Lawton, I think it was, and it was basically just a game of endless riddles, and it was pretty fun. I might have to get an emulator version of it, or find some other method to stream that content onto YouTube. So let's see. Here's another computer terminal, and it's giving me the Book of Osiris, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm assuming it's somehow related to the Book of Osiris, but let's open this top one. The great irony of I'm going to call it Ox, of the Ox Papyri is that such a vital source of information about the ancient world exists only because of a garbage dump. While the Library of Alexandria burned at the hands of fanatics and conquerors, depriving us of the unimaginable insights into history, philosophy, and art, the papers carelessly thrown away by the citizens of Ox survived to the modern day. And though it is true that a great deal of what we know today is because of the conscious efforts of individual or organizations, such as it's just talking about, that's interesting tidbit if it's true. I think there is going to be a lot of fluff, and I don't want to waste a lot of time reading through the fluff filler stuff. The Book of the Scribe of Osiris, sometimes also referenced to as the Book of the Journey of Aru, is the ancient Egyptian text discovered in the excavation of Ox. There we go, there's our connection. It has caused a certain degree of controversy among Egyptologists, as some argue that it is a classic funerary text, such as the Book of the Coming Forth by Day, while others believe it is a poetic work not intended to be understood literally. The book tells the story of a dying man who asks a scribe about the afterlife. And then it talks about how the man's his life force will become separated from his personality, and he'll have to reunite the two to become a living intellect. Excuse me. Okay, interesting. And what do we got here? I'm getting more blue sigil. So it looks like I got to solve a lot more stuff back in Tower or Building A, which... Let's look at this real quick. Okay, so Building A, kind of a... Do they all look alike? I was thinking maybe one looked like Roman. Maybe this one looked Egyptian. Yeah, okay. We kind of got some Sphinx there. John DeMarco saying, I googled it, and apparently apocalypse does come from the Greek word for revelation. Okay, well, live and learn. I did not know that. Thank you, John. And then over here at C, what do we got? We got angels. Okay. So we got some Greek stuff here, some Egyptian stuff there, and some maybe some Christian or Roman. I mean, angels kind of go back a long time in history. Definitely up to the Roman time period. Let's go solve some puzzles. Because, I mean, this mystery is fun, but I do love me some puzzle solving. I say that, and immediately I see a computer terminal. Let's see if we can talk to this this thing that keeps giving us philosophical questions. So AI feedback, that email. We keep discussing what an artificial intelligence would mean to us and how it would change our understanding of the world. That is a great topic, and I think we covered it extensively. What we've barely mentioned, though, is the other side of the coin. I mean, our lives would still be what they were before, AI or no AI. The question I think we should discuss is, even if it's all completely hypothetical, it's the perspective of the artificial intelligence itself. What would it be like to be that creature? To suddenly come into being, created by others as an experiment? To have all that information about yourself, to know exactly how you function. What would it be, or what would you think about the world? Would you see meaning, beauty? Dear Alexandria, thank you for your feedback, but this is a philosophical course, not science fiction. And that's why I almost gave up on my studies. Okay, so this is some paper I wrote in college, it looks like, talking about AI. Teamleads.email. We are blessed to have so many people contributing to this project, but we got to make sure everyone is on the same page. Please refer to the following people when corrupted information there. Alexandra Drennan. Okay, that's me, project lead, AI module. And then there's a lot of other people. And though not directly part of our project, the archive team is sharing both physical and digital space with us. If there are any technical issues to resolve, please contact their project lead. And then Stratton of Stygia was a Greek materialist philosopher associated with the something school. An admirer of Aristotle, he was a proponent of empiricism. Oh, this is going to kill me. And fierce critic of philosophy that placed belief before observable truths. Empiricism. Being able to prove what you can touch. Though unpopular with many of his peers for his often acerbic personal manner, his commentaries on Aristotle were considered an important work. Much of his writing was lost in the destruction of the Library of Alexandria. Okay, so the character that I'm supposed to be, it seems like, this Alexandra lady. Oh, now here's something interesting. I can't read this. Let me get my phone, because my phone has a QR scanner. This Alexandra lady. I'm not sure if you've ever read any of Isaac Asimov's I, Robot, but there is a lady in it who's considered to be the mother of robotics. Sarah Calvin, I think, was her name. And I kind of wonder if I'm supposed to be the Sarah Calvin when it comes to AI. So let's get this. Let's see if this doesn't work. Okay, so this is what it gave me, which I don't think you can read that very well. But it says, the eagle has landed. Now is the time of tranquility, and I shall rest and observe the earth. And it's signed Uriel 4. Uriel. It's Uriel. I think that was the name of an angel in not in the official canon of the Bible, but in maybe the Apocrypha. So it starts off saying the eagle has landed, which, I mean, that's a pretty well-known phrase, I think we all know. And then what do we got here? That's 24, I think. 2 X's, yeah, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, okay, 15, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, it looks like I go from 1 to 24 around this, whatever this is. Let's see here. A bit tied up. And then John saying, I'm familiar with iRobot, but I don't think I've ever read it. Oh, it is such a good book. Mainly because what he did is he took a lot of his short stories and he turned it into an overarching narrative. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that we've learned that the Pokeballs will turn off the projectile launchers. So let's go ahead and have them handle each other here. I gotta make sure I do this in the right order so I don't get myself launched or trapped in a Pokeball. All right, and then there we go. That should work. Nice. Okay, so yeah, it's one of my favorite novels, to be honest. Just for the way that he does such a good job of taking these random stories and putting it together. I mean, even if I'd read it as just here's a collection of short stories by Asimov, it would have been a really good book. Simply because... Give me one more. I feel like there should be one more. Ooh, a gold star. Simply because it does such a good job of looking at, okay, if these are my 3 basic rules, that a robot shall do no harm to a human, a robot shall obey a human except where it conflicts with rule number 1, and a robot shall act in its own self-interest as long as it doesn't conflict with rule 2 or rule 1. And he says, now what if I tweak those rules just barely? And that's what the entire series is about, is what if these rules were tweaked just barely, or what if they were damaged in some way? And it kind of follows not only Susan around, but it follows these 2 other guys around as they go around the solar system. And I think that's one of the reasons I really liked it, is because the main characters are definitely the everyman kind of character. I wasn't paying attention. What's the name of this level? Stash for later. Okay. They're definitely the everyman kind of characters. They're very much a blue-collar kind of worker. And that sort of character always resounds to me. I think it's one of the reasons I enjoyed the show Eureka so much, is because the main character, Sheriff Carter, was very much an everyman character. Do I have anything in? Okay, here we go. Here's a Pokeball. Making sure we're not missing any secrets as we walk around here. I'm sure I'm going to be missing secrets. Okay, I do not want to get that because there's no way I could pick that up right now without getting trapped in a Pokeball. Okay, so here we have a gate, which is locked. Ooh. Get away from that Pokeball there. Okay, so now we can unlock that gate. And... Can I sneak through here? Okay, that's... Okay, sneak away here real quick. I don't think I could sneak through that area yet. Okay, there's our gate. Okay, so now we can jam that Pokeball and get the jammer. There we go. Oh dear. I almost ran right into that guy. Let's jam him. Let's see what's over here. Okay. So I have 2 launchers that I gotta take care of. Oh, I think I see what I need to do here. Let me jam that Pokeball and bring the launcher over here. Or the jammer over here. So there I can turn off 1 launcher. And there's the second one. And now I can walk around that Pokeball. And there we go. Let's see, how long have I... Okay, I haven't been going for too long. I was worried that maybe I had been going on for a long time. Because, man, once I get into a game, I can very easily lose just all track of time. But it's nice that I'm on the road right now, having to take care of a project, and it's certainly a nice time to get to play a game when the day's done. I don't have any work to be catching up on, so I can just take a minute and play a random video game that I couldn't under normal circumstances. It's clear I'm not the first to walk this path. In fact, the whole thing seems to have been consciously designed, but by the voice in the sky or some other force. Signed Sheep version 69.1.108. Lock me up, swallow the key. Alright. Okay, I think I can hear a launcher somewhere nearby. Yeah, I can see his lasers over there. Okay, here's a jammer. I keep pushing a key that in another game would have me like lean over to look around a corner before I just run into a Pokeball. But this game doesn't let you do that. Oh my goodness, got too close. I missed that completely. Got a little singed on that one. Okay. So now I can go past this force field. Okay. We'll go and jam that projectile. And then I'm gonna leapfrog these guys, because I suspect I'm gonna need to jam at least one more thing. There we go. Oh hey, I unlocked the selfie stick. Let's go figure out what that actually is. Wait. Do you see that? There's a guy... There's another recording. And he's just accessing the computer. Man, if they changed the music just barely in this game, this would be such a creepy kind of game. And that is another way of good design. Alfred Hitchcock, when he made the movie Birds, he was really tired of mood music, and so the first time he did it, he actually, at least this is how the story goes, that he did the first cut with no music at all, and the people thought it was a comedy. Like, everyone was laughing at this movie that is now recognized as like a classic horror movie.
In the halls of my temples, for there is much that you do not know.
Do not get it?
That is why you are a child. But children are made to learn, and in time they come to have dominion over the lands of their home. So it shall be with you and your generations.
Okay, I guess I don't get it right now. Let's solve some more puzzles. But yeah, so a movie that we recognize as being like just one of the most iconic horror movies ever now. It was first thought to be a comedy, and it was all the only difference was with music or without music. So I think that they have done a really good job of, in this game, if they have made just a tiny tweak to the music, this could have been like a suspenseful sort of game with things flickering and the robot running by or the recording running by. Maybe make things a little bit darker, and all of a sudden you have a much different game. What's this? I spent much time waiting for the designer to take my hand until I realized that he had been guiding me all along. I realized that it isn't for me to seek his help. It is for me to help myself. Signed, one with faith, and then another one of me, apparently. Am I going crazy, or do the computer terminals have a personality? No, I asked that already. I said, can you take offense? And I insulted it, and it said no. So, let's seek counsel here. What does this do?
Here, those who are worthy may seek the counsel of my blessed messengers. But their wisdom shall not be given easily, for your accomplishments must be your own.
Okay, so I clicked on Seek Counsel, and I said, if Elohim's messengers can read this, one of his flock is in need of aid. Signed, Life with Matthew, version 99.104.005. What does this one say? 99.102, so I'm definitely later than this one. And it says, a messenger must be awakened first. Signed, Autoresponder, version 001. Okay. Let's not mess with him yet. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have a little penitentiary area, perhaps, for our Pokeball. I hope I'm far enough away from him. Okay. So let's lock him up, get him out of the way. And John DeMarco says, excellent example about music. I love a good film or game score. Oh, that's so true. And, you know, I reviewed the Rise of Skywalker today, and for as much, as much grief as I'm going to be giving that movie over time, I'm sure. I mean, I do not see how JJ can possibly, I don't see how he can pull this one out of the fire. But one of the things I gotta say in his defense is that score, John Williams is just knocking it out of the park. That was such an amazingly good score. Okay, good game design right here. I'm pretty sure that if I put the jammer down on top of that brick, I'll be able to pick it up from up there. I feel like they're giving me a big old hint right now about what I should be doing. So let's give this a shot here. Nice. I saw an interesting, I wouldn't call it a documentary, an interesting video or behind the scenes, I forget what exactly I'd call it, but it was basically telling us, or talking about how we're not as smart or as good as we think we are in games. And it was just going over all the behind the scene things that games do completely without our knowledge to make us seem better than we actually are. And one of the examples it did was in platformers where you have to jump between different, different spots. It actually fudges the spot where you drop into the pit by just a couple pixels. And it was going over here, I think it was over in Mega Man. They didn't have this kind of fudge set up yet. And so that's why we remember that the classic platformers were so brutal. It literally is because they used to be a lot harder. Oh, can I make it? That was close. It was only recently that, or recently-ish, that they started to kind of fudge that stuff a little bit, and it makes you have the appearance of being better at the game than you really are. And they do the same thing with subtle things like that block there. It's not that I can figure out that, oh, this is how I solve it. It's that they very clearly set something aside and made it really obvious and different to give me a big old hint about how to solve things. Okay, so what do I got here? I got way too close to that guy. That's what I got. Okay, I have not seen another jammer here, but I have seen a Pokeball. So let's see if we can't use the Pokeball to somehow take care of this projectile. And John is saying, even if Episode 9 is a terrible movie, the Williams score will be great, not to mention his last one for Star Wars. Oh, that is so true. And I feel like he's aware of that, and he was just pulling out all the stops in that trailer. Like, I honestly wish that that full score was already available, because that was just that was awesome. Okay, let's follow the Pokeball. Actually, I don't have to. I can stay down here and turn it off. Yeah, don't worry. I'm not gonna get too close to you. Nice. Okay, we got our first red sigil. That's what we're going to be able to use to climb that tower that we have no business being near, apparently. Oh. My user profile has now been generated. Download profile? Yes. It's downloading and registering. Congratulations, your new user account has been registered. Would you like to see the details? Let's see, I can display conflicts, display account privileges, access or display my psychological profile. Let's see what it had to say about our answers. You may already be criticizing your own performance, but it's clear you understand how the world of idea affects you, even if you are sometimes wary with the realities and allow your performance or your preference to dictate your belief. You have a great deal of unused capacity which you have not turned to your advantage. Disciplined and self-controlled outside, you tend to be worrisome and insecure inside, but you pride yourself as an independent thinker and do not accept other statements without satisfactory proof. I really wish it doesn't look like this game lets you do unique save states. And I wish I could go back and tweak a few of my answers to see if that was just a standard block text that you get no matter what you say, or if they're actually trying to kind of do like one of the BuzzFeed things, where if you answer a certain way, you get a certain answer. So let's see let's display my account privileges. What can I do here? Basic account privileges only. Due to outstanding notes on your account, and despite displaying many of the characteristics of being a person, you cannot be granted admin status at this time. In the meantime, please enjoy the basic account functionalities. Okay, I haven't read anything about conflicts, but it's an option, so display my conflicts. Conflicts. The user provided an objective response when asked for a subjective one. The user provided a particular account of personhood, but was uncomfortable with its implications. User displayed sociopathic tendencies. Okay, surely this part has to be unique based on the answers we've given. Surely the sociopathic tendencies was because we said that we would kill him and put his blood in a flask for later. So, can I access the comm portal yet? You currently hold a basic account. Network access is restricted to administrators. So let's do the last option here. Let's log an MLA support ticket. I'm sorry I wasn't better able to assist you. If you're still encountering a problem, please describe it. ARG. Account certification error. Lost admin password. I'm thinking account certification error. Do you have a preference on this? I don't think we can get into a no-win situation this early in a game. So, yeah, sociopathic. John is saying sociopathic tendencies. Thanks, Bird. Yeah, thanks, Joe. That makes him think that we're a madman now. So we can either say that we lost our admin password. We can just scream at it, or we can do an account certification error. Certification error sounds good. Yeah, I think so too. Let's go with account certification error. Thank you. A support ticket has been generated and appended to your profile. You will receive a notification when a reply has been sent. And with that, I think we've done all this. Let's go ahead and exit out of this. We already read all that. Okay, so according to these signs, there's still a star left, which we haven't found yet, but we've beaten everything else on this level. Okay, so I've got buttons, which do nothing yet. Okay. I'm sure that's a riddle we need to solve. We'll think about it, come back. Interesting. Okay, so I'm thinking that not only is it telling us what color sigil we have here, but what equipment we might need in order to get the sigil. So let's see if any of these have the companion cube symbol on them. Yep. Okay. So in order to actually get past this level, we'll need the companion cube. Let's see if we can't get that. We need I'm not sure what you describe that one. The almost a straight line piece, and then one of the crooked dog leg pieces. You know, do the Tetris pieces all have dedicated names?
And we within them are made of words. Hidden words, invisible to you, yet part of all things. We are a story. Your actions give life to the story, and the story gives meaning to your life.
Okay. If this is just more stories, I'm not going to read the stories right now. Okay, I'll come back to this later. I want to do some puzzles. Whoa!
Behold, I am Elohim, and I speak unto the darkness. Be gone.
Okay.
Access data cleared.
What? What on earth? Okay, we are definitely inside like a holodeck or something. I think that our poor Alexandra here ended up being more of a test subject than a project lead. And there's something going on with this AI environment. And John is saying, I was wondering what the proper names of the Tetris shape were. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, you obviously got the straight line, you got the cube, but then what would you call the other two names? And then John saying, that's taking a memory wipe to the next level. Let's see. Push it further. Ah, okay, so now we have our blue keyhole. And there's our blue key. Okay. But I can't pick it up or do anything to it. So what else I got here? I got some tripods. Or connectors. We got some connectors. Point at a target. Are you a target? You're a target. Okay. But I can't get them from here. So let's put the first one here. Ah, look at that. Okay. Okay, let's get rid of that second light. So that's what they mean by push it further. So let's get the second connector. And we will select it there. And like that. There we go. Okay. We got some light puzzles. I like light puzzles. Branch it out. Okay, so if this is a virtual environment, which I'm gonna say, yeah, this is definitely a virtual environment. What's up with all the ruins? I mean, I guess earlier they were saying that this thing has been around basically like amount of time greater than it could actually record. Okay, there's a connector up there. So there's been a lot of data degradation, obviously. But this seems to go just so far beyond simple degradation. Like, why would the data be degraded and causing the walls to look so worn out and ancient? I mean, that's not how data works. Like a picture doesn't start to look old just because it's been sitting on your computer for a long time. And yet we saw in the last area, there's definitely, that's the way I came from. There's definitely a puzzle that's broken down and not used anymore. Like it's completely, like we saw the recording in that area, and now it's gone. I mean, I guess if this place was super far in the future, then maybe they have some sort of algorithm that's trying to hold everything together, that's doing its best to preserve the data. What's over here? I mean, there's a pathway. This should eventually lead to something. Ooh. It leads to a cliff. Well, it's a beautiful scene, I guess. Yeah, real pretty. I was kind of hoping there'd be a star somewhere around here, but I guess not. Let's see, where was I? Ooh. Got another, what is this? A ball? A beach ball, I guess?
The answer that came to me again and again was play. Every human society in recorded history has games. We don't just solve problems out of necessity. We do it for fun. even as adults. Leave a human being alone with a knotted rope, and they will unravel it. Leave a human being alone with blocks, and they will build something. Games are part of what makes us human. We see the world as a mystery, a puzzle, because we've always been a species of problem solvers.
Okay, so that was gonna Alexandra. That was me, I think. And this level looks like we need to not cross the beams. I mean, that's a rookie mistake there, crossing the streams. But somehow we need to literally cross the streams, but whenever they do, they stop. Which, that works. I play a lot of puzzle games where when you cross the streams, it makes a new color. I like those games a lot. But what can we do here? So let me connect him and him. I know if I set it down here, it's just going to break. So let's try a different method. We'll walk around some. Maybe I can bounce it off. Like, I wonder if one connector can have multiple things connected to it. Let's try it. Gotta get him closer though. Oh. It was only working because I was blocking the blue stream. Okay, so that doesn't work. But what if can I reach the red one from here? I cannot. So what if I put the blue guy over here like this? And then the red guy, where can I connect him up? Can I slip under? I can slip under. Okay, there we go. Okay, it says I got one more puzzle over here somewhere. Don't cross the streams. Okay, so I skipped a level. This was supposed to be an introductory one, it looks like. Let's see. How can I... Okay. Put red like that. And then let's see if we can't take blue the long way. There we go. Well, I haven't found any stars on this level, like not in the beginning of where they would be hidden. See, this spot looks like another one of the puzzles that have disappeared. Like, this totally looks like the entrance to where... Oh, man, that freaks me out every time. See, this looks like an area that would have been a puzzle room at one point and has deteriorated away. Like, do these guys actually give us any hints? I'd like to think that they take you to an important location, but it looks like they're just completely random. Is that a... I think that's a beacon up there, or a connector up there. If anyone ever reads this, the trick is seeing the assumptions you're making about the mechanics and readdressing them. Good luck. Or reassessing them. Signed, naming function error. Well, I don't feel like I've run past any stars, so let's... I think that's everything. Let's do the terminal and then, I don't know. I might wrap things up there. I might play through one more area. Okay, from Nadia, and I can't pronounce that last name. Okay, so I remember from earlier, Nadia was someone on your team. Like, she'd been there longer than you've been there. She's technically your superior, I think, but you're the project lead, so she defers to you. Okay, she says, "Hi all. Everything's been moved to the L facility. I know it's been sad to leave the good old Jeff building behind, but it makes sense for us to be on site, especially as there are more severe power outages in the coming weeks. Arcady's team are already working on, and it gets corrupted, but you really don't need to worry about teams getting in each other's way. The facility is genuinely humongous. Let's get this show on the road." Okay. So here's the guy who believed in I can't say the word, on beginnings. "It is the grave error of many philosophers, not only of the Athenian school, but also of many others, that they began not with observation of the cosmos as it surrounds us, but with a conclusion already in mind. And often that conclusion is that the world itself was created ideal, and mankind itself the greatest creation of the gods. Yet neither the world nor the gods owe mankind perfection. It is all arrogance in itself to presume so, and contrary to all the methods of philosophy. The honest philosopher seeks only the truth, even if it bears no comfort, and he must begin by assuming, as Socrates said, that all he knows is that he knows nothing." Well, okay, obviously I disagree with some of the things this guy says, but I do think even today, we do have a problem with a lot of science is looking at the data with a conclusion already in mind and elevating the data that supports that assumption and downplaying any data that doesn't support that assumptions rather than just, taking the data where it goes. And the last one here, mail_error.dat. From Arcady to 504 recipients. I'll keep this short. You all know me, so you know that I know what I'm talking about. I realize that you're all working on projects meant to somehow avert corruption, find a solution. I believe that preserve the non-biological components of terms, or not in terms of something immediately. You'll find the details of my proposal in the attachment, but the short version is blah 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 blah, global undertaking. Okay, we got power outages and the end of all biological life as we know it. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna do just a couple more puzzles. We're gonna wrap this up soon, but I'm gonna do a couple more puzzles. Well, isn't this place dreary? Let's look at L. They were just talking about this building. L, short for Extended Lifespan, is a groundbreaking initiative by 7 leading universities to create the world's most stable and most durable supercomputer. With its custom-made hardware, bomb-proof casing, and near-inexhaustible hydroelectric power supply, L represents a unique step forward in the evolution of human technology. The brainchild of Nobel Prize nominee Dr. Arkady Chernevitsky. L will blah blah blah, and then there's some links that don't work. Athena 8. I feel like most of these are kind of filler. All this, the Greek philosophy stuff. You must consider these riddles, the Sphinx said, and tell me the riddle that I did not reveal. The Sphinx smiled, the gears in her jaw creaking. Ooh, that was well-timed lightning. Her teeth a nightmare of rust, her left eye flickered. but none of its terror was diminished. The ruins were silent, and the error. I think, she said finally, that the riddle you did not reveal is this. Why do these riddles exist in the first place? Why do these curious automatons, these mute children of Hephaestus, behave as they do, forcing me to devise these intricate solutions? Each is a riddle, but the greater riddle is their purpose. The Sphinx did not answer. Her eye was lifeless now. Athena removed it from its socket, knowing that its power would aid her, yet feeling also a deep sorrow at the passing of this fearful creature. Okay, yeah, that was filler, but at the same time, it seems to be not completely filler. I mean, we seem to be kind of perhaps automatons, and that is, I guess, the question we're going to be answering. Why are the puzzles here? John saying, I don't agree with everything he said, but I think he's right about truth being important, even if it isn't pleasant. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like I said, I think that way too often science is now done with, I have a conclusion in my mind, and I'm only going to look at the things that support that. AI citizenship is what this is called. Profile, Alexander Drennan. Okay, so this is something apparently I wrote. Once a true artificial intelligence has been created, the issue of citizenship is going to come up. If we acknowledge that the AI has all the abilities of human brain, should it not be considered a citizen? If it is not, in the legal sense of the word, a person, or is it not, in the legal sense of the word, a person and thus a potential citizen? But where do you draw the line? Some people will object. Will the great apes become citizens, elephants, whales, the more intelligent parrot species? It's crazy, they will say. I would remind these people that we live in a society in which a corporation, as abstract an entity as one could imagine, is considered a person. Ah, philosophers. So it is not like there is no precedent for a non-human being a person. At least an artificial intelligence is an actual thinking being, not just a business arrangement. But perhaps we do not need to question the definition of personhood. Increasing amounts of evidence regarding the intelligence of elephants or the existence of culture among whales, for example, could be a sign that we need to answer some difficult questions. Who better to debate these questions with than the young genius who revolutionized the and that's it. Okay, so man, there are just so many things wrong with what she was saying there. What's this called? Going over the fence. Oh, I need to go unlock the companion cube before I do this. First of all, I don't think. I mean, this is just me. I kind of agree with Anti-Trekker when he's talking about with data. It's just a machine. I mean, we anthropomorphize. You know, sometimes you read a word and you realize you never say it, and this is one of those situations. I don't know quite how to pronounce the word I'm thinking of, but we give human attributes to things that are not human, is the word I'm trying to think of. And I feel like they did that with data. Now, so I'm definitely in the mindset that I don't think, no matter how advanced AI becomes, that it could ever truly be a person. Because AI can never make a truly random choice, in my opinion. And I say that, a lot of the reason I say that is because I work so much with what you might consider AI. A large portion of my job is programming things to act in automated responses. I am in the automation industry. And so I know that a program can never, ever do anything other than exactly what it's been programmed to do. And that when a program does do something other than what it does, it's because there's been like a fatal error crash and the entire program just it panics out. And often that is more because a user found a way to abuse the program. For example, there's a thing called SQL, which is what all databases run on, basically. Okay, this is called Over the Fence, and yeah, there he is over the fence. And the idea is you use some basic language like, select this user who has a name that starts with B. That'd be an example of an SQL question. And what people discovered is that they could actually, within the statement, the select statement, they could actually do other SQL commands. So it's called an injection. And they were actually breaking the program, causing it to do things that it never should have done, simply by taking advantage of bad coding. And so that's the way that AIs can act in ways other than they're supposed to. But even then, it's not that it's acting in a truly unique way. It's not actually making a decision. It's that someone has inputted a code that it's breaking the program. And John's saying, to get spiritual, an AI can think, but it doesn't have a soul, which is a key part of being a person. Yeah, I totally agree. AI does not have a soul. And okay, there we go. There's the solution. And just even beyond the soul stance, I try to, like, I am a very, very much a strong believer in the Bible, in God. But I fully recognize that there's a lot of people who don't, and I do try to meet people with where they are in their own belief system and talk to them from that position. Oh, look, the sky's clearing up. And so I can compartmentalize my arguments like that. And one of the things I recognize is, like, even apart from does a machine have a soul or not, a machine, it cannot have, no matter how complex an AI gets, it cannot have free will. It cannot make its own unique decision, which is why I'd say that an AI would never be a person. Let's see, what do we got here? We got another one of these things, which I haven't found their messenger, whatever that is. There's nothing to do there. This area is pretty well covered. Okay, so I need to disable 4 things, and I got 1. Let's turn him off. Can I cannot? Okay, okay, what if, let's see if I can sneak under him, because his little lasers don't go directly underneath him. So I can sneak under him. But what does that do for me? Nope, can't do that. One of the other things they were saying is, or she was saying that was, what about, can I get to that spot over there? I don't think I can. What about, like, if a whale gets super intelligent? Okay, I did not know there was a Pokeball over there. That was a happy accident. He just took out one of the projectiles. So let's see if I can now get this box without getting shot. Excellent. Which, I mean, that's such a dumb argument. Like, trying to say like a whale could, or a parrot could become a person. And I get that. I mean, in the game, I'm the one making this argument. I get she's just trying to show an absurd example, but I wish she was using a better example. Okay, let's see. Okay, I got this cube. Let's see if there's anything else behind this bomb area. Ah, I'm in Pokeball. Pokeball area. Oh, a star. You know, there's a giant red thing here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I need to put a box on it. Oh, look at that. Thank you, game design, for making me seem smarter than I am. Okay, let's listen to this.
I was in school when I first read about the Talos Principal. I think it disturbed me at the time, made me hyper-aware of my body as a physical object, the material reality of the brain. Ideas that made me uncomfortable at first, but I think in the long run, it helped me understand how frail human beings are, and how precious. It's not a comforting way of thinking about the world, but I'd rather face the truth than lie to myself.
Okay, I was looking at the text again because I thought there was something else that I didn't like about what she had said, but no, she just kind of went over the AI becomes so complex, and I know a lot of people are waiting for that in real life, not necessarily AI becoming so complex, but the actual. A lot of people are waiting for the spontaneous generation of life because of the complexity. They think that the internet will become so complex that it will spontaneously become alive. And that kind of goes into the theory of evolution, that they believe that what gave people sapience or sentience, rather, was that our brains became so complex that we became sentient things. And so they believe that once the internet reaches a certain complexity, it too will become sentient. And what's John saying over there? Animals are sentient but not sapient. There we go. Well, I say data is sapient, not sentient. Humans are both. And that's an interesting distinction. I like that. So yeah, they're saying that... did I do that right? Yes, I did. They're saying that the internet will become sapient. It will gain so much knowledge that it will become self-aware. And you know, even from an evolutionistic standpoint, I kind of view that as a really dumb, thing. Like even if you believe in the evolution or theory of evolution, you've got to recognize that it was more than just complexity and information that would have given rise to the human brain. Like I said, I do believe in the Bible. I do believe that we are created, not evolved. But like I said, I can compartmentalize these things, and I recognize that even from evolution standpoint, you've got to recognize that what would have brought about the human mind is more than just the ability to collect data. So let's see. I think something's very wrong. If you've seen what I've seen at the edge of the world, you'd wonder if it wasn't stretching and bursting at the seams. No signature. So this mindset that the world could spontaneously, or the internet could spontaneously become sapient is just kind of a nonsense thing to me. Okay, somehow we need to, okay, what's going on with this Pokeball? He's not trying to get me inside the Pokeball there. He's not trying to catch me. But he is blocking my stream, so I gotta stop that. Can I... Boop. And John saying, yes, everyone is worried that the internet will become Skynet and create the Matrix. I don't think that's how AI works. I don't think that's how AI works either. I get it. People want it to be a more cinematic thing, but you know, life is amazing enough without having to get crazy on it, you know? Let's see, did I get all the puzzles in this area? No, there's still a green line left, but I think this means, since we already read everything on this one, I think this means we have something from the MLA program. John saying, I think it's human ignorance to think that we are capable of creating life, even if it is artificial. Only God can create life. I 100% agree, John. Attention, you have received a reply to your user support ticket. Display reply? Yes, please. Topic, account certification error. User basic account. Reply, an account certification program diagnostic has been performed and no errors were reported. Have you completed the standard troubleshooting procedures? 1. Delete existing user account. 2. Create a new admin account. 3. Email the network admin. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through these steps. We're going to delete the user account. We're going to create a new admin account. Excuse me. In order to prevent unauthorized access to admin controls, only persons may sign up to new admin accounts. The system will now conduct error. User has no registered account. The certification data already exists. Would you like to undertake the certification process again to achieve a preferable outcome? Yes or exit? I think I'm going to go with yes. Your issue with denial will be appended to your user profile. Further attempts to overwrite certification results will be logged. You will receive a notification if your attention is required. This computer is kind of sassy. This is kind of the AI that I think I would write if I ever wrote like some sort of user interface. Like if I was one of the people who did a map program like the Garmin's back in the day, I would have had it where, you know, if it keeps saying recalculating because you keep missing your turns or something, eventually I just have it say like, look, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm just going to shut down. The more I converse with these terminals, the more I wonder what role they play in this contraption. How do you tell friend from foe when no obvious lines are drawn between the two? Signed, Sheep. I wasn't aware that we really had any foes yet. Things to do with 2 boxes. An interesting name. Okay, and here's my 2 boxes. Let's see. I can put 1 box there. Let's see what we got here. What is a hexahedron is what Samurite's saying. And one with face responds, a powerful device fashioned by the designer. A cube is what Sheep responds. Sheep is kind of more of an engineer, it seems like. The edges are beveled. That makes it a decahedron. Signed, Always Right. You forgot the indents. With the indents, it's like a super polyhedron. Oh my goodness, we're reading through a comment thread of the YouTube section. But the convex hole is a decahedron. Topic closed. Signed, Always Right. Wrong. Signed, Dog. Oh my goodness, it is literally the comment section of the YouTube video. Oh, let's go get the other, I'm gonna call them companion cubes. They just need the little heart symbol in the center. Let's see, those... Okay, those are Pokeballs. I don't... You go away. And I cannot... I can jump on it, but as soon as I pick it up... Okay, so I gotta leave the cube there if I want to get through the field. Let's see... I need to sneak past these guys. Okay, there we go. Now let's see what to do. John saying they nailed the comment section. They really did. I hope we see more like that. That was nice. Let's see. Keep this with me. I might need it. Okay, I can get into the B area now. If the designer is perfect and he designed me for a purpose, I must be fit for that purpose. It follows that my purpose must not be to seek and hoard every sigil in his land, for so many are beyond the faculties he has granted me. Signed, One with Faith. So since this is such a philosophical thing, I suspect at some point they're going to kind of start doing some straw man arguments based on the philosophical stance of the person who wrote this. I do not understand why the designer chose to put such flaws in the world that it appears almost as if it were damaged, but I must believe that there is a purpose here I cannot see. Signed, One with Faith. Okay, hold on. We got a power cable. And a secret wall. But where's my red beam of light? Okay, got a connector. I wonder. Interesting. I can select something way over there. I wonder if this will go through. The purple thing, or if it gets stopped at the purple thing. Oh, that is nice. Okay, how many puzzles do I have left here? Did I just start this area? No, I got them all. Okay, you know what? I am going to stop there because I could easily keep playing this for hours and hours and hours. But you know what? I've been streaming long enough. John, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. With any luck, let's see, tomorrow night, I think 8 Anti streams tomorrow night. So probably won't be back tomorrow night, but maybe I can find some time in the middle of the day if Bird's not streaming to do some more of this. We'll see what happens. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight, John, and I will catch all of you later.